Welcome, Tone and Friendly Nation. We got good tone on Wimkin. We are going to be going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome, everybody on Wimkin. Good to see you here. Should be hearing us here in 2 seconds. Lets us know. Tone and Friendly Nation. We got good tone on Wim. See you, Wimkin people, popping out of the window. Welcome to the Donut Friendly Show. Good to have everybody here. It's me tonight. Olivia's off. Got an interesting story. Regards to a neighbor friend of mine. Let's get everybody on. Wow. Let's get it shared. There we go. There's the numbers. Now it's starting to kick on. Gonna cover, there is some turmoil in the Kamala Harris campaign. We've got the Yenny cam up. It's right here. She's asleep. She's been there since 9 o'clock this morning. Hasn't moved. She came in with me around 9. I got in here a little earlier than that, but she's been there all day. She's out. She has now embraced her spot, and there she is. So we'll have her on cam upon request. Starting off with a new goal tonight, $200 on tonight's goal. It's a steal. Just horrible. Just a steal. Just a nefarious bargain. A steal of epic proportions. It's all right. 200 is the goal. I'll be punching in the numbers. Good to see some people coming on. Let's go. We've got about 3 minutes before we get on. By the way, the new DUM Nation jacket, Columbia. This isn't cheap. I actually have this jacket, exact one that I purchased like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. I wear it all the time. It's warm enough for winter for most places, unless you're like in Minnesota. It is amazing. A ton of pockets, water repellent to an amazing, like, unbelievable for a thin jacket that it's water repellent, but it really is. Inside is all thermal, and it's amazing. Great jacket. It's an amazing jacket. And then also, if you want to wear it like in the springtime, it's not too hot. It's ridiculous. It's a great jacket. Fully embroidered, no print. Everything is all stitched. You get the back stitch with the Donut Friendly logo. You get the patch over here, and then the American flag and Donut Friendly show on the right wrist. It's pretty kick-ass. We're excited about it. Go over to thedumshow.com and take a look. Yenny is stirring. I know. She's mad at me. She's like, Dad, why are you talking so much? I'm trying to sleep over here. We'll see you guys in 3 minutes. What's going on, everybody? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. I am proud to announce that the Documents of Freedom are back in stock. It's a 3-book collection, leather-bound, by Arcadia Publishing. Starts out with the Bill of Rights, and it's the complete edition of the rights, so you can look up and reference anything your heart desires. Declaration of Independence, with revisions and founder images included, beautifully illustrated. And last but not least, what would Documents of Freedom be without the Constitution of the United States of America in its entirety? The box is handmade by PFC Flags, custom engraving, all 100% made in the USA from the nails to the glue. And we have a 5-star rating, satisfaction guaranteed, 150 sold, 5 stars or better. It is so important, especially in today's society, to ensure that the younger generation has these books available in the future. Get them for your family and friends, available right now. Head on. Folks, I just want to let you know we just ordered 20 more of these for this month, and they continue to sell out, and they are amazing. So if you have not had a chance, please do. This will probably be the last order we will do till Christmas. We may have a few left after Thanksgiving, but it's going to be few and far between. Please do me a favor. If you're looking to do the Documents of Freedom, now is the time. We are getting 20 of these in, and we need to sell them. So if you haven't had a chance, now is the getting is good, and we have them in stock. Over to thedumshow.com/books. Thanks so much.
Howdy, y'all. This is Damani Felder. These are perilous times in American history, and now more than ever, we need individuals who are willing to wage war on the ideological battlefield with like-minded individuals. And I can think of no better place to start than my friends at the Don't Unfriend Me show. So thank you for being here, and enjoy the show.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
You know, I got to give it up. People keep coming through. Bobby Richardson, $51.99. It seems like this lady starts the day with $51.99 it just baffles me. You people are just incredible. I can't thank you enough. You are helping us continue to stay online and keeping it free. That means a great deal. These people have donated last night and over the last couple nights, so we go ahead and try to scroll and give them some love. Kitty Cam is on. Yenny is digging deep. If she's still doing that 5 minutes later, I want to encourage her that whatever it is either gone or permanently lodged. So we'll see if she stops. But I wanted to say thank you to everybody for helping out. And it means a great deal. I can't thank you enough. And my family can't thank you enough because, you know, it means the world to us. We work awfully hard to bring you a high quality show and news and funny stuff on Facebook all the time. And you make it absolutely 100% possible. So thank you. Yes, Yenny has her own camera for now. When Olivia's not on and I'm on, I will have her, if she's in her spot, when she leaves. She's been there since 9 a.m., so I can't imagine she's going to leave anytime soon. Folks, my name is Matthew Spear. I'm the host of Don't Unfriend Me. Good to have you here. We're going to go ahead and turn the ticker off. We have a goal tonight, which we're already 1/4 of the way there. Can't thank you enough for that. That means a great deal. There is our goal. And if you have the ability, you can go over, and I don't want anyone to feel any pressure. It's a free show. But if you can go over to thedumshow.com/donate, you can go ahead and donate through PayPal or through Venmo. We appreciate it. All right, let's get to it. We've got some busy stuff going tonight. So I don't know if you've noticed, but what happened to my chat window? Hold on. Okay, there. I don't know if you noticed, but there is something happening in this election that is quite interesting. I always like to look at the polls, and I hold the polls with a grain of salt. It's not necessarily something that I put a lot of stock in. I did an article today, if you haven't had a chance to see it. And in that article, I go into the October surprise this year is probably not going to be something nefarious because Donald Trump is one of the most vetted candidates on the planet. And I don't think the media is going to do anything to harm Kamala, because they certainly didn't do it to Joe, and they didn't do it to Hillary Clinton. I can't imagine they're going to do it to Kamala. But the October surprise, in my opinion, is people getting complacent and falling and resting their laurels on the overall poll numbers. And I think this is a huge mistake. But I want to tell you polls that are usually accurate. And the polls that are usually accurate, there's two. National polls are never accurate. In fact, they are the worst, because you have 326 million Americans, 332 million Americans estimated at this point, and a bunch of illegals. But when you make that phone call, it's supposed to be towards registered voters, and it usually is. But all they ask you is, are you head of household? And at that point, you don't know if this is a person who is actually going to vote. You don't know if they're just screwing with you. You don't know if they trust you. And people are pretty hesitant over the phone to give you their political ideology. Now, in person is a little bit different, and depending upon the situation, like if it's a street interview or an exit poll, if it's on camera or voice, people kind of get a little hesitant. But an exit poll, people are usually pretty open. So you got to look at the national polls mean nothing. The polls that usually are fairly consistent are demographics. And that is breaking it down into Black, Hispanic, white is a little bit harder. It's a very large demographic. But you'll find that those polls are usually fairly accurate. And the next thing you're going to find is that swing states are fairly accurate as to where the Democrat is going to play out, but not necessarily where the Republican is to play out. Now, if it's a blue state or it's a purple state, this is what we're talking about. If it's a red state, it's fairly obvious that it's going to usually fall the way of the Republican candidate. That's usually what happens. And when a swing state flips, it's because it's blue or purple, not usually when it's red. That's usually the case. So you can rest assured that the two polls that you can pay attention to are minority demographics, and also when it comes to Democrat results from a swing state perspective. And then always can count that the swing state for the Republican, more often than not, is usually going to have a little contrition. It's going to have an underestimated result. This is what we've seen from Trump in 2016, 2020, and most assuredly we'll see it in 2024. This is why I am so positive right now when it comes to these swing states, because I believe that Kamala Harris, in the last two elections, and the trend will continue the same, is that it will be tight, but her numbers are not even close to Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton. She is 5 to 6 points behind where they performed, and Trump has remained in a steady incline. Nothing huge, but here's the big one. And this is something that you should consider. Folks, Twitter people, my Twitter people, Melanie, please share on Twitter. Do what you always do, because we've got like 10 on Twitter right now, and usually we have like 100. So if my Twitter people can share this out like they always do, I would appreciate it so we can get those numbers up. So when we take a look, and I don't want to bore you to death with all this, but I want to give you some hope, is that these numbers are extremely positive for Donald Trump. And the reason why they are is because he is outperforming where he was in 2020, which is a great sign, but he's picked up some demographics. Now, I've told you, and this is the easiest way that I can explain this, and I hope this hears you well, is that if you look at 2016 and you look at 2020, even though more people voted mail-in ballots 2020 than they did in 2016, Donald Trump's performance from a percentage standpoint was exactly the same. He performed the exact same with men and the exact same with women from 2016 to 2020. And this gave him so many damn votes, 71 million some odd votes, which was the second most ever for any presidential candidate, because the percentages stayed the same. The difference between 2016 and 2020, however, is that Hillary Clinton did not gain a certain number of male and female votes that Joe Biden did. Joe Biden gained 3% with males and 4% with females. This was a huge, huge disparity. And although Donald Trump remained flat, which is usually a good thing, especially when there's more votes in the pool, Joe Biden exceeded Hillary Clinton by 7%. And this is why you saw this massive difference in the popular vote of almost 7 million votes, okay? So I want you to remember that. Now I want you to look at this election and the way that it's falling. You've got a couple things on your side. 2.3 million liberals, Democrats, have left the Democrat Party and moved towards registering for the GOP over the last 4 years. That is a huge number. 2.5 million people, no matter how that sways, is a massive demographic. That's larger than transgenders. It's larger than Jewish Americans. It's larger than many outside the top 10 demographics inside this country. So I want you to think about that and know that losing that many votes, or at least registered voters, is a huge thing. So number one. Number two is you're seeing that the demographic that's supporting Kamala Harris more than any other are white women. And you remember, I told you that. That's why I said I wanted Nikki Haley as VP. I'm not into the I told you so game. Okay. If he makes it, I'll give accolades and say, okay, great. If he doesn't, I'm going to blame it that it's Nikki Haley. It's his VP pick. I told you he has to get the woman because I knew he would have men. I knew it. Joe Biden is frail and old, and men do not relate to that. The second thing they don't relate to is women as VPs. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. Men are probably going to sway towards Donald Trump, and it will be the largest landslide of one sex versus the other in U.S. history outside the 1984 election with Mondale and Reagan. Because men just, I'm sorry, we just don't find female politicians to be that alluring. It's just, unless they're Lauren Boebert. And we don't necessarily believe they have the temperament to lead. And you don't have to agree with us, and that's fine, but you have to understand where we come from. We come from sports where it's predominantly male dominated. We come from the military where it's predominantly male dominated. We go to the workplace, predominantly male dominated. Teachers, predominantly male dominated that influence young men. You look at our churches, predominantly male dominated. And whether that is accurate or not, or a stereotype that we all agree with, it doesn't matter, because unfortunately that's where the numbers are, and that's the result we're going to get, is men are going to go to Trump. And that's just the way it is. But we also know that women are going to side with Kamala Harris, and white women most assuredly are. And remember, I told you that that would be the biggest demographic that Donald Trump was going to have to shore up if he wanted to just destroy this election, and he's not going to. White women are going to fall with Kamala Harris. But the interesting thing is whatever ground she makes up in that, and we know that the baby boomers are going to be voting more than likely with Kamala Harris. They lost a ton of votes because Joe Biden was really their pick and related to him because of his age and support of Israel and stuff like that. But Kamala Harris is an unknown, and there's going to be some trepidation to vote for her. Plus, this is an older generation. There's stereotypes. They were alive during civil rights. So you've got to understand is that there's going to be some trepidation to vote for a kind of a black woman. So you've got that. Then you've got to consider, though, that whatever she gains in that category where she's going to perform very well with white women is she's losing it with black women and Hispanic women. She's getting crushed. So I want to show you these numbers so you really, truly understand. Now, when we talk about the black vote, you might say, well, wait a second, Matt. I mean, is that really going to make that big of an impact? Yes, because they're in blue counties. Predominantly, the black African-American female vote is in blue counties, and white women are not necessarily in those areas. So this is going to help in the swing states and the Democrat strongholds. This is why he is campaigning in New York and campaigning in California, because although they may not be in play, they certainly are from a down ballot perspective, and these districts are vulnerable. So does that make sense? I hope you're like, oh, well, I get it now. That makes complete sense, Matt. White women are going to be suburbia. They're going to be the rural areas. They're the elite areas. Well, those are already going to sway for Kamala. But black women leaving the Democratic stronghold is huge. A massive, massive blow. And right on top of that, literally rolling right on top, you have Hispanic women that are siding with Trump at record levels. You have Mexican men, Hispanic men who are siding with Trump. You have African-American men who are siding with Trump. And although she's going to get a very big portion of that, like Democrats always do, he is cutting into her numbers. And this is taking away the white woman vote. So this is what I'm saying, is that Donald Trump is expanding across all demographics. He's expanding across the unions. He's expanding across labor. He's getting the fire departments. He has the police departments. We're seeing that the rank and file workers are not aligning with her. You're seeing black men are not aligning with her. You're seeing African-American women, Latino men and Latino women are not aligning with her, because in the end, the only thing she has to offer is abortion. She's not running against Donald Trump. She's running against the image of Donald Trump. And she's trying to litigate the last 4 years. And I told you the hardest thing that she would have to do, or Biden would have to do, is to have people forget the last 4 years and remember 8 years ago to the 4-year mark of what Donald Trump did. And what they remember was life was better, except for COVID. And COVID is baked into the first 2 years of Biden and the last year of Trump. And people know that. They're not stupid. So this whole thing is Kamala needs to litigate policy, and the policies that she's bringing out are not good. So we'll talk about that. I got a couple of videos for you. In order for me to stay caught up with donations, I got to put these in when they come in, because if I don't, I'm going to get hammered. So I apologize. Let me do this because Olivia is out of pocket tonight. So I'm going to try to put these in to the best of my ability, and then we can get started. Sorry about that, y'all. So anyway, that's a lot of information at a very rapid pace. If anybody has any questions or comments, thank you, Maddie. I appreciate you. Please let me know. Oh my gosh, you guys are incredible. Frank, thank you so much, man. Blows me away, you guys. You're amazing. It's horrible to do this on my phone. Okay. Thank you, Frank. And then Kevin as well. Thank you, everybody. I got to stay on top of this because Olivia, like I said, she's out. And I got to get these in. Because I never want anyone to have to wait, especially if they have to go and not hearing a thank you. We at least try to say thank you to everybody, and if we miss it, we certainly apologize. So thank you, everybody, already. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Already we're $66.11 from goal. So unbelievable. All right, so let's get to these videos, and let's get to some of this information so I can back up what I'm saying, because what I don't want to do is tell you something that isn't accurate, right? That's my goal, is to give you the best information I can. And what I want to try to do is use... That's very unusual. Hold on. Hayden? I know, Hayden. No. Not at night. Negative. Wait. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry. Someone's at the door. He's not here. I think he was with Mom. Sorry. Someone's at the door. Not comfortable, especially with what just happened to my neighbor, which we'll go into. All right. So let's watch this. I want you to see this because this is what CNN was playing, and you're going to hear this a lot. Hear all these wonderful things about white women, and they're going to make it sound like they're all breaking for Kamala, which they are. But that is deceptive, and I'll show you why. Here.
Let's take a look here. The GOP's margin among white women. Look, Romney won him by 9, all right? Trump in 2016 won him by 6. You go back 4 years ago, Trump won him by 7. Look now, look how much lower Trump's margin is among white women. Look, he still leads, but it's well within the margin of error. It's just a point. He's doing 6 points worse than he did 4 years ago. In fact, He's doing the worst, if this holds, for a GOP candidate this century among white women, John.
Well, how much do white women matter in the electorate?
So this is the whole thing, right? How much do they matter? If you were to break it down, white women, white men, women of color, men of color, white women make up the plurality of the electorate, 36%. So, yesterday we were talking about those massive gains that Donald Trump was making among black men, black women. But the bottom line is they actually make up a considerably smaller portion of the electorate than white women do. So when we're talking about 5, 6 point shifts, 7 point shifts in Kamala Harris's direction, we're talking about that among a major part of the electorate, and that can actually move the overall.
No, it won't. And I'll tell you why. Because he is absolutely kicking the living shit out of her with white men, kicking the crap out of her with men of color based upon where Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton. He's winning in more demographics than her. And yes, white women make up a super majority. But there's also the hidden fact is that women don't want to admit that they're voting for Trump. They have been shamed into this. Remember what Hillary Clinton said is women don't think for themselves. Their husbands decide that they're voting for Trump. The amount of sexism. The point is that he's Hitler and he grabs them by the pussy. And they've made it embarrassing to vote for Trump. And very much where white men were in 2016, that silent majority that did not come up in the polls but definitely showed up for Donald Trump, they're going to show up for Trump, and so are white women. I don't believe that these numbers are accurate. I believe that CNN is not catching the right amount of numbers here. I believe that white women will break for Kamala better than they ever have, but it's still his demographic, and that's the key.
Electorate more than ginormous shifts among a considerably smaller part of the electorate.
You can just
John.
do the math. More than double the impact, depending on how it all spaces itself out.
No, he's not saying that white women aren't smart, folks. We don't need to disparage women in this situation. We need all the women that we can to vote for Donald Trump. What he's saying is that they are 36% of likely voters. But you must understand that is not inherently accurate when it comes to the Donald Trump phenomena, which is 2016, 2020, and 2024, is that silent majority, that quiet majority. I talked about it today. They do not poll. They do not show up. Do I believe that he is performing as strong as 16 and 20? No, I don't. I think he's probably 2 to 3 points down. Do I believe that that's detrimental to the race? Overall, it's impactful, but he is also gaining ground in every other demographic. I mean, it's incredible, even with young people. So Donald Trump is making up ground in a lot of spaces. Black people are leaving. We're seeing a party shift here. And in my prediction, I believe in the next 10 to 12 years, Democrats will start abandoning blacks. And this, it's not like it hasn't been done before. And you are seeing that the unions, you're seeing African Americans are breaking towards Republicans. Hispanics and blacks don't like this transgender bullshit. They don't like this diversity, equity, and inclusion. They want to run the race. They don't want to be having that given to them. They're sick and tired hearing that they are, inept or incapable of succeeding in America, and they need the government to hand it out. People are sick of this shit. Liberals have this elitist snot run attitude that they are somehow smarter, richer, their policies are better, and people are just sick and tired of them. They're downtrodden on white men, they're downtrodden on Christians, they're downtrodden on America. They hate the Jews. They support crazy shit like Hamas. They give pallets full of cash to Iran. They get us into conflicts. They open the border. They deny that it's happened. Everyone's seen what's gone on. They sit here and say that Donald Trump killed more Americans in COVID when that's complete bullshit. 657,000 Americans died under Joe Biden. 500,000 some odd died under Donald Trump. For that to sit there and say that it's just a horrible situation. Donald Trump could have handled things better. Biden could have handled things better. Why can't we just be honest about it? Because America knows, because we lived through it. We're sick and tired of it. We know that the stupid policies of 6 feet and 3 feet and triple masking and plexiglass and standing up in restaurants and getting a vaccine, no, getting 2, getting 3, no, don't get 3, get 7. It was all liberals. We know this. They shut down our schools. They kept them closed because they curtailed to the teachers' unions. Everyone remembers this shit. So don't sit here and tell me that the entire country is just going to somehow forget. Yes, abortion is important to women, but trust me, women are like, you know what? I'll just close my legs, unlike Kamala, and I'm going to be okay. That's the true sentiment. Abortion is extremely popular with radicals, but most women, most middle-aged women, understand that it's not being banned across the country. There are states that are putting limitations, and then there's states that are opening up wide open, like Kamala. So maybe we could just stop pretending that this is the most important thing. The most important thing is illegal immigration. That is the number one topic, and this is a complete failure by them. Not only that, it's the economy. Then you have to look at global stability. So these things are absolute detriments to the Biden and Kamala administration. And they can sit here and put lipstick on a pig all they want. American women, white women, are going to go the way of Black and Latino women. That's usually what they do. So when they see that more Black women are voting for Trump and more Latino women, their white guilt is going to kick in too. There's a lot of unknowns here and a lot of variables that you're not going to hear on Fox and CNN because nobody's going to say the shit that I say. But I know this because I've worked in this field for the better part of 40 years, studying this stuff, living this stuff, understanding how people vote and what they think. And that is the truth. White women, when they hear that minorities are breaking for Trump, are going to feel like they have permission to do the same thing. That's a variable that they can't get from one of these polls.
Why? Why? I think that this gets at a pretty good reason why. All right, abortion is the top voting issue. We're going to look at Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, on average, where 80% or north of the voters are white. Look at this.
This is complete bullshit. It is not the number one issue. That's the New York Times. If you look at the national polls when it comes to what are the most concerning topics, those polls are always accurate. The only time it wasn't was in 2018, 2020, 2022. I told you that abortion was on the ticket. It will be on the ticket from a national perspective. But to sit here and say that people in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, the number one concern for 80%, where over 80% of voters are white, is abortion means nothing. Listen to the quote. Abortion is a top voting issue in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, where over 80% of the voters are white. You pretty much just eliminate all the blue districts. And that is where they are trying to sway this number, because those blue districts, where there are heavy Black, African-American, and Latino people, for instance, in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, in Philadelphia, in Michigan, in Detroit, in Wisconsin, you've got Madison, Green Bay. You've got bigger areas that are predominantly Democrat strongholds. These are why these states are not going red, is because of these large cities. Remember, it is not the number one issue for Black people. It is not the number one issue for Latinos. They have learned to live with not having abortions and not getting pregnant. We are seeing teen pregnancy go down in Black neighborhoods and Latino neighborhoods. The education process is working. They're sick and tired of being factories for either killing babies or having them and having the government give them more money for both. This is changing. Their number one concern is jobs and the economy. So listen to that poll. It's very misleading, because those people they're talking about are going to break for Kamala anyway, and abortion is their issue. These are areas that have very strong, very high-end youth. They're talking anywhere between 18 years old and 30, first-time voters and second and third-time voters who care about abortion. There's no doubt it's a huge topic for them. These are activists. These are the people who have been ingrained from college. Those numbers aren't going to change. But where it says over 80% of the voters are white is very misleading, because those are Republican strongholds. They're not going to overtake those strongholds. The rural areas are not going to fall for Kamala Harris. I'm just letting you know. This hits the cities. So this poll actually means nothing.
The percentage of women who say that abortion is the top voting issue come November, 27%. Look at this gender gap. Among men in those states, it's just 7%. I think what we're talking about here is, after Roe v. Wade was overturned in 2022, white women in the suburban areas, in these key battleground states, have very much turned against Republicans. And we're seeing in the polling right now, because Kamala Harris is doing historically well, at least this century, for a Democratic candidate among white women. And of course, they make up a very large portion of the electorate. If she wins, it could ultimately be because she did so well with white women, John.
As we said, big shifts with an F there, Harriet, and thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Let's take a look.
Big shifts with an F? Was he trying to say big shits? Okay, so there I broke it down for you. That poll is like, I want to grab that guy and bitch slap him. What a way to beg the question. Completely, the analysis is 100% wrong. The key is that undercarriage, small print, where it's 80% white. Show the number with blacks and Latinos. Show it in Democratic strongholds. So what they're trying to say is they're trying to sway rural voters. You're not going to sway rural voters. I'm just letting you know, not with a woman and not with an African American. I'm sorry, folks, that's just the truth. That's just the way it is. If you ask people, why won't you vote for Kamala Harris? Why are you voting for Donald Trump? They're going to say they like his policies better. They're going to say that overall they're Republicans. But the truth is, she's a woman and she's black. We can sit here and pretend that's not true, but it is. And that's just the way it is. You know, this is not Barack Obama. Barack Obama stopped the barrier until he was in. This is why he did so poorly in his second term in regards to turnout and votes. It was a lot closer than you would think with Romney. The first one was a landslide, and the reason why is because he just completely removed himself from the color barrier. And he spoke to all Americans, and he was fantastic. This is why people voted for Obama. This is why I almost voted for Obama. This is a huge thing that he did not do in the second term. Racial division became his focus in the second. Going after police officers became his focus. Going after guns became his focus. But in the first sector, in his first run, it was very much about unification. Kamala Harris isn't unifying. She's placating the black people. And you should see some of the shit she's doing. I've got it all for you. But I want to show you this clip first in regards to CNN. So you guys can see the other end of this equation, which is important, if I can find it.
Whoa.
So now you've got CNN coming out and doing this same dipshit, okay? But watch him undercut everything he just said, okay? This is hilarious. Watch this.
And sometimes there's a trend line that I never noticed before and make me go, whoa. This is one of them, all right? This is the Democratic margin among black men under the age of 45 in presidential elections. You go back to November of 2012, what do you see? You see Obama by 81. Clinton only won him by 63. Then we're all the way down to Biden last time around by 53. A tremendous drop already. And then you take a look at the average of the most recent polls, and Kamala Harris is up by only 41 points. That is about half the margin that Obama won them by back.
Yeah, so don't give me shit about white women, because you go ahead and do Latinas, go ahead and do Latin men, go ahead and do African American women, and you talk about young people, do the unions, do the frontline blue collar workers, do police, do firefighters, do military. It's not breaking for Kamala,
November of 2012. And this, I think, is, when Barack Obama goes in last week when he was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Remember, here is why this is important, because the only reasons why Democrats win election are because of big cities. And all these people are voting for big cities. White people aren't in big cities. I'm sorry. It doesn't have as much impact. She's not going to take the red rural areas. It's just impossible. It's Republicans' bread and butter. 86% of the rural areas in the United States, Republicans own. Look at a fucking map. It's Los Angeles. It's Baltimore. It's Miami. It's Detroit. It's Dallas. It's Corpus Christi. It's El Paso. It's Houston. These massive cities, these little tiny pockets of blue areas, he's eating them for lunch. You're not going to take rural voters. You're not going to be able to do it. You would have to penetrate 300 or 400 different counties across America. It's not going to happen. You're just not going to be able to influence that many rural areas with these fucked up policies that she has. Donald Trump is not speaking to black people and Latino people. They're just sick of Democrats. They're done with it. They want change as much as white people wanted change in 2016. Black people, Latinos, young people, older people, labor unions, police, military, everybody wants change. They want away from Democrat policy. They think they're crazy. Unfettered access to abortions, saying that a person who has a dick is a woman, sexually transitioning our children, chemically castrating them, gay flags in the school. Nobody fucking wants any of this. You think Muslims want this? You think black people want this? You think Catholics and Latinos want this? You think Jews want this? You think Orthodox want this? The only people who want this are college-educated young women who don't shave their fucking armpits. Give me a break, folks. Give me a break.
Pennsylvania, essentially talking to young black men. He made it seem like it was a Kamala Harris specific problem. This is part of a long-standing trend of young black men moving away from the Democratic Party.
Yeah, generational change.
The latest
yes, I called it in 16, I called it in 20, I called it in 2022. Black people are leaving the Democratic Party. As Christians are leaving religion and abandoning religion, and Christianity is decreasing exponentially, Democratic Party is bleeding minorities. They are sick and tired of hearing that America is shit. They're sick and tired that the color of their skin is why they're not successful. They want opportunity. They don't need special treatment. They don't need affirmative action. They don't need handouts from the government. They need politicians to keep their fucking words, and they're sick of it. They're sick of it. If I'm wrong, then explain the numbers. If you actually talk to a black person, if you actually talk to a Latino, if you talk to people who are not your color and not your demographic, it's amazing what you can learn.
That magnitude of younger black men going towards the Republicans.
That was most interesting here is the trend line and where some of the biggest drops happened or already happened in this case. How about black men overall?
How about black men overall? It's part of the same picture. You know, we're looking once again, if younger black men, it looks like the worst Democratic performance since 1960, since
Listen, there's no doubt. There's about 2.5 to 3% more women than men in the United States of America. And that's why women usually sway elections. I told you that women were going to have a huge impact in this election. That's why I wanted Nikki Haley. It would have checked the box against Kamala. Would have been a woman, would have been a minority, but a white man at the lead. It would be perfect. Just the way that's just the truth, okay? From a political sense, it would have been perfect. Donald Trump didn't want perfect. He wanted hard. So he went with another white guy. That's going to hurt him with women for sure. Nikki Haley was very open, was very honest about abortion stance. It was very popular with the frickin' libertarians in the middle of the road. This is why she gained 21% of the vote in across the national primary. She highest ever for somebody who was not seated as vice president. Highest ever, somebody who was not seated as president. Nikki Haley overperformed. Bird Brain Haley kicked ass. She was the last woman standing. And you remember what I said is that it was going to be DeSantis or Haley 4 years ago as the vice president. We know what should have happened based upon the numbers, and she was the last woman standing. I don't love Haley. I love what she would have brought, which women would have broken for Trump, and this race would have been over. It would have been done. The lights would be out, ad buys would be over, and I guarantee you Donald Trump would be leading in every single poll, and this would be the biggest landslide since Mondale and Reagan. He chose J.D. Vance. I like J.D. Vance. He wasn't the best political choice for the numbers. Women, I always told you, were going to be a bread and butter of Biden and Kamala.
JFK versus Richard Nixon. It's the same thing among black men overall. Again, part of a similar trend, but here actually the drop-off isn't as dramatic, right? Barack Obama won him by 85. Then you see 71 with Clinton, 69. Biden, basically the same thing, holding steady. But here, again, very, very weak. Only a 54-point margin. Now, again, still winning him by a large margin, but considerably lower than what we're used to. Certainly considerably lower what we had during the Obama years. The bottom line is Kamala Harris with younger black men and then black men overall putting in historically weak performance for a Democratic candidate.
Is she getting any relief with black women?
All right. So, you know, we're talking about the trend
Here comes the but.
line, right? And black women, look, she's doing better.
CNN, just fucking rip the Band-Aid off, okay? Everybody knows, okay? You're trying to treat cancer with a Band-Aid. Well, she's doing better. Right, that's... It's like saying you had a thimble and you're trying to bail out a boat. You threw the thimble away and you went with a cup. You're doing better, but you're still sinking.
With black women than she is.
Oh, that doesn't look like it's better. That looks like a fucking travesty. Pardon my French. I'm sorry. I'm excited. I love this time of year. This is my Super Bowl. It's like me watching 2 football teams, okay? 2 hockey teams. I'm going to shout. I'm going to scream. I'm going to pop favors and down a beer and do shots. This is devastating. Devastating. They are completely abandoning her. Look at this number. 14 points. Black women are saying no way. This is from 1960. You are seeing a shift for black people who are saying, you guys were the KKK. You were the Jim Crow. You're the one who told us about this giant party switch. You voted against civil rights. You believe in eugenics. You believe in manifest destiny. You believe in the Great Society. You have had modern day slave plantations in our cities and had 75 years to do everything as our black men are dying. Fuck you, Democrats. That's what they're saying. That's what this is. They are repudiating Democrat policy. This is devastating to the Democrat Party.
Doing among black men. But here, there isn't a trend line almost until we get to Kamala Harris. So again, this is a black margin among black women.
Black people are waking up, folks. I told you it was only a matter of time that they were going to take this shit. They've been being lied to. Wait till I show you the next segment. This is effing crazy. I have never seen a shift this quick. People talk about the 13 states that were southern states that switched to Republican when the South switched. That took 2 generations. And it wasn't that the party switched, you morons. It's that the South has been behind since the Civil War from an infrastructure point, from an overall innovation standpoint, from an overall education standpoint. The South was behind because it was 25 years put back post hoc from the Civil War. Their slaves were taken away. They didn't have the industry. They didn't have the mechanisms to equal the overall productivity of the North. From a mental faculty standpoint, from roadways and bridges to communication, to throughfare, to their harbors, everything was behind in the South. That's one of the reasons why they didn't want to let go of slavery, because it would have crippled their economy. The South took longer to shed racism, but they got there. Do you think the South magically all of a sudden just flipped? No. It was that they grew up. It's that they started to make headways. These are the things that took place. Thank you for the donation on Super Chat, $5. We appreciate it. Nancy Jennings, you are the best. So for us to sit here and pretend that black people are stupid, that they weren't going to get it eventually, they learned with COVID. After they elected Joe Biden, I will tell you, the exit polls are going to tell you, the reason they are 100% litigating and prosecuting the case of COVID against Joe Biden. They didn't appreciate the vaccine mandates. They didn't appreciate how it went into the hood. They don't appreciate the way that they've abandoned, how they don't freaking come into those areas unless it's an election year. They do nothing. They continue to put them on welfare, and now they're placating them with money and drugs. Wait till you see this. Let's watch the rest of this, and I'll show you this graphic.
Look, Obama won him by 93, very large margin. Clinton won him by 93, a very large margin. Biden did a little bit worse at 85, but then you look here and you get a 71-point margin. Now, again, these are large margins, but the bottom line is when you're talking about the base of the Democratic Party, you would think that Kamala Harris would do very well among black women based upon history, and of course she would be the first black woman president, but she's actually doing the worst for a Democratic candidate among black women since 1960, if this holds, John.
And again, when you look at the numbers here, whenever you come in, looking at the trends is probably the most important thing.
You got it, my friend.
Thank you.
So, we're just going to go ahead and just wipe out everything we said about white women. And we're not going to believe that shit anymore. Give me a break. Sorry, Yenny. Sorry, honey. Dad's loud. So what are we going to do? Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to now placate to the white base. Democrats, listen, when black people find out that Kamala Harris is placating the whites, it's over. I'm letting you know now. This is going to fly over like a lead fucking balloon. I'm sorry about my French. I know a lot of people, don't cuss, Matt. I have to cuss. This is too good. This right here is going to go over like a lead balloon. I want you to listen to this. This is single-handedly 2 of the most important documents that will decide this election are right here. And it is going to have the opposite effect on African Americans and Latinos that you would think. They've already given it to illegals. Now they're going to give it to white people. Listen to this. Vice President Harris and Governor Walz's plan for rural communities. Official release October 15th. You're not going to see this anywhere else. I watched the 5 tonight. Nobody's talking about this. You're going to hear it here. No, I haven't seen one show talk about this. Tell me the show that did it. I dare you. Tell me the show that's done this work. Listen to this. Vice President Harris and Governor Walz's plan for rural communities. New initiative will strengthen rural health care by adding 10,000 healthcare professionals, expanding telemedicine, cutting the number of ambulance deserts in half, and keeping rural hospitals and pharmacies open. The only way to do that is to have what I've been trying to say is a TRICARE, tri-state solution, and you go ahead and defer college for medical professionals if they sign a service agreement to be in these cities. That's like a voucher or an option. Democrats aren't going to do that. That's a Republican incentive, which is to, just like the military, pay for a doctor's education, but they have to serve a period of time in a rural community. Do you understand? This is a lie. Democrats are not going to do this in any way, shape, or form. But this is to placate to the rurals. Now listen, supporting the next generation of small and mid-sized farmers and ranchers. How? What are you going to do? Strengthening the backbone of the rural economy with investments in housing, childcare, and senior care. How? Give me the numbers. Tell me what you're going to do. Listen to the bottom. Vice President Harris and Governor Walz believe in rural communities and understanding that support local-led solutions is a key to rural prosperity. Their administration will make it priority to equip the nearly 50 million rural Americans with tools and resources they need, not just to get by, but get ahead. This is a shift. They are placating to farmers and ag and rural, and let me tell you, this is going to fucking backfire in epic proportion because farmers aren't going to believe them. It's not going to sway men. Let's face it, men do the farming. I understand, and women might go out there and do a little cow, or they might go ahead and get the plowshare a little bit, but let's face it, it's the backs of men that do the farming. Yes, there are women farmers. Don't get on my ass. I understand. I wake up 4 a.m. and I milk every cow. Okay, fine, whatever. On average, you know what I'm saying. This is going to backfire because the husbands are going to say, fuck no, and the women are going to say, what? There's no substance here. This sounds, why are you saying these things without any numbers? Because this is why it's going to be the kiss of death. This right here is why it is absolutely going to destroy her numbers even more with African Americans. Listen to the difference in this plan. I can't make this shit up. I am going to write a show on this tomorrow, and I hope it goes viral. You guys got to help me get this word out because this right here is ridiculous. Listen to what I'm telling you. They just promised more doctors. They just promised telehealth care. They just promised investing in tools for ag, investing into the farmer, investing into the businesses in small towns. All of those things, although complete bullshit with no dollar amount, it still sounds good, right? Listen to this. Harris proposes 1 million forgivable loans to black entrepreneurs as Trump makes inroads. The Supreme Court has already went ahead and done this. You can't go ahead and do this because it is absolutely racist. You can't give entitlement programs to people based on color. They're lying. But more importantly, here are the key points. Listen, this is not made up. This is true. Vice President Kamala Harris unveiled an opportunity agenda plan for black men, which includes a proposal of forgivable loans up to $20,000 to black entrepreneurs. It's unconstitutional. You're never going to see it. Black people, lend me your ears. Listen to me. This is complete dog shit. It's never going to happen. But then she has also pledged to support federal marijuana legalization, a big step beyond the Biden administration's current stance. Black people, men and women, Latinos, this is what she thinks of you. She thinks that bribing you with money and giving you drugs is all you're worth. Like you had any doubt anyway. That's why you're breaking for GOP. That's why you're not going to vote for her. What a fucking horrible thing to do. I've told you, and I've been saying it for 4 years, Democrats don't give a shit about black people. They don't give a shit about Latinos. They don't care about anybody. The only fucking thing they care about is money, power, and votes. We're going to give you drugs and we're going to give you money because that's all you're worth. I'm going to give you N-words, just a little taste of the pie, like Lyndon Baines Johnson said. I'm going to have those N-words voting for me for the rest and voting for Democrats for the rest of their lives. Then Harris crypto plans will make sure owners and investors in digital assets benefit from a regulatory framework so that black men and others who participate in this market are protected. So now, why don't you just go ahead and say that you're going to go ahead and provide bail for all pimps? That all gangbangers get a free Glock. That you get them some chicken and some grape soda, some cool cigarettes, some Colt 45, or some OE. You're going to get them some FUBU gear. You're going to get them free tickets to Dre and Ice Cube. Who the fuck do you people think you are that you're going to do this for white people who that isn't even your base, and you're going to go ahead and say, we're going to give you pot, we're going to give you a little bit of money, and man, when you're pimping your crypto and your hoes, we're going to give you some crypto. You kidding me? The black people, Latino people, women, the GOP are waiting for you. We're not perfect. We're fucked up as Hogan's goat. But you know what we're not going to do? We're not going to tell you that the other party is racist while we're the racist, because this shit is racist. This is completely racist. We're going to legalize pot. You know what, man? We're going to go ahead and we're going to make crack legal. How's that sound, black people? This is your Democratic candidate for office. Has just put black people in the lowest common denominator. You have taken the trash of African Americans in this country, not the hardworking blacks, not the hardworking Mexicans, not the hardworking Asian Americans. You took the hood, the people who are killing each other, the people who are peddling crack, the people who make it impossible for black neighborhoods to rise up from the ashes because of the policies of Democrats, with fatherless homes, with no role models, with eugenics, killing. Do you believe out of the 67 million fucking aborted babies since 1967 that just maybe a few of them might have been the next Tiger Woods? Maybe the next Ben Carson? Maybe the next Maya Angelou or Denzel Washington or Morgan Freeman? Do you just think maybe that if we would have allowed these people to have a child with a father and a mother in the home and incentivize that we could get them out of this drudgery, that we could have white businesses go into the inner city to start revitalizing these neighborhoods and crossing the tracks? Allowing some of these black youth and black people to leave the hood and come into white suburban neighborhoods and incentivize those type of things? No, all you want to do is have your voting farms get high, give them a little weed, have a baby, get a little welfare, and keep them down. And I am so I am so irate over this. You don't want black people to be better. You want black people to be slaves. That's all you've ever wanted. Democrats haven't fucking changed. They are the same as they were during the Civil War. And if you think, tell me online, call in. Phone number right up there, 804-212-2208. Call me. Tell me I'm wrong. Get a Democrat on here. I don't care, black, white, brown, indifferent. You can come and educate me. Tell me what the Democratic Party has done for African American people besides put them in chains and kept them under their boot and put them in voting farms. Tell me. Educate me. Over the last 400 years, what have they done? Republicans freed the slaves. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment are Republican-driven. Civil rights was decided by, you didn't have enough votes with Democrats. Republicans crossed that aisle. Republicans did what was right. Take a look at suffrage. Take a look at eugenics. Take a look at Japanese internment camps. Take a look at Jim Crow laws. Take a look at the Tuskegee experiments. Who put you on welfare? 1940s. 1940s to 1961, Republicans didn't win shit. Why? Well, because we went to the welfare route. We became progressives. And modern day liberalism was born. And the GOP did the Social Security, did the welfare, did the food stamps. They tried it. It was an abysmal failure. And we never went back. And Democrats mopped it up and sulped it up and used it as their policies. Go look at what the GOP was 1920, 1940 to early 61, 58. That is modern day liberalism. Conservatives completely lost their way. But we learned that it was ill-effective, that it was not productive. And we went back to our old principles: small government, small taxes, help people up, do not hand them out. Family values, Christian conservatism. These are the practices of the GOP. Never, ever has conservatives been racist. And because some asshole decides to put 2 Nazi flags on a boat, you think the GOP owns this? You think because you had 700,000 Cluckers, Ku Klux Klan, in the 60s show up to the Chicago National Convention with Democrats, and we have now an active 2,700 Klan members inside the United States, that somehow that they support the Republicans, they're disavowed at every turn. We completely disavow Nazis. Why? Because there's no such fucking thing. It's made up just like your Hitler crap. These are a bunch of stooges. Because Nazis exterminated a group of people based upon their belief structure, color of their skin, and heritage. Name the people who are doing that. Okay, then they're not Nazis. You want to call them fascists? You want to call them radicals? You want to call them domestic terrorists? Fine, do that. But you have trivialized Hitler. You have trivialized Nazis. Can you believe Twitter right now? Go to Twitter and look at how many comments are about Hitler. That his speeches are being translated from German to English in AI, and people are saying, wow, Hitler wasn't that bad. Hitler didn't want to kill 11 million people. He did it because they didn't have enough food, so he exterminated them out of kindness. What the shit? Have you read a book? Democrats are responsible for trivializing the Third Reich by calling us Nazis, by calling us white supremacists, by calling Hitler Donald Trump. And now you've got idiots on Twitter who are like, well, maybe Hitler wasn't that bad. Maybe Mussolini wasn't that bad. You know, Stalin and Lenin, and this is the sad thing, it's infecting the GOP because Democrats have always idolized Stalin and Lenin and Che Guevara and Mao. They've always idolized Saul Alinsky and Khrushchev. They've always idolized the Ayatollah and the clerics and the Shah in Iran because they placate to them. But now you have conservatives supporting Nazis, supporting Adolf Hitler. I wonder where they get that. When you take one extreme and you're so far left that you move into dictators and progressive socialism, and it is fascism at the same time, where else do you expect the opposite side to go but to Nazism or to Adolf Hitler or to some of the most repugnant human beings ever to exist? What do you expect? When you trivialize things like this, people become anesthetized to it, and then they eventually embrace it. It's ridiculous. And this is all because of liberals. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. 804-212-2208. Tell me I'm crazy. But you better come loaded. You better come with facts. Because you can't repudiate this shit because it's true. And you know it's true. And you can put, when you lose a great party switch, I'll blow that out of the water. The South did not vote for a Republican for 20 fucking years until Ronald Reagan. Don't tell me there was a great party switch in civil rights in the 60s. There was no such thing. You had 3 state seats switch, and you had the 13 states move in with Goldwater. And it's not because the GOP became racist. It's because the South was racist and Democrats embraced blacks with civil rights. And that's what Kennedy and Robert Kennedy did, and LBJ continued. And Nixon finalized and put the friggin' cherry on top. There was no switch. It was the lesser of two evils. We've been seeing that in politics ever since. So for you to sit here and say that the Democrat Party all of a sudden just switched to Republican, that's not what took place. The people in the South felt abandoned by the Democratic Party. Folks, this is the Dumb Show. We get a little hot and heavy, but we always bring it to you straight. Bring it to you straight. TheDumbShow.com/donate. If you have not had a chance, please donate. We are a 100% funded show by you. We have our good friends over at Wimkin.com, social media alternative to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. They are amalgamation of all, except they don't censor free speech. Head on over to Wimkin.com and sign up. Make sure you pick a profile pic, email, everything. Save that email and username. 24 hours, you will be approved. Jason, the CEO, hand approves all of them individually to make sure we don't have bots over on Wimkin. Step on over to Wimkin. And if you have not had a chance to donate to the Donut and Friendly Show, we have been demonetized by Facebook, not because of spreading lies, not for doing what other people do and saying things that are racist. We're saying things that are true. They don't like us because we don't want to divide Democrats and Republicans, because we believe there's nothing wrong with liberals. There's nothing wrong with conservatives. There's something terribly wrong with ultra-progressive, left-wing, socialist ideals. And we believe there is something absolutely wrong with alt-right, full-to-the-right fascism. We don't like either. But we're going to call a spade a spade. You can help us continue to do that for free by going to thedumbshow.com/donate. I hope you enjoyed it. That's a lot to process. But now they already are making excuses, and they're turning on black people. They are turning, and this might be it, folks. This might be the stepping stone into finally this country unifying against politicians and the media, because it's what we need. We need to put them in check. We need to rewrite the rules, the laws, the constitutional provisions that give these people power. Citizens United, revoke it. Take political action committees, dark money. Take special interest groups out of Washington. Decentralize Washington, D.C. Take these major alphabets and spread them around the country so they can have state oversight. Enough of unfettered access of Washington, D.C. running this country. It's the beginning. I'm telling you it's the beginning, because listen to the media and what they're about to do. Listen to Joy.
Is working. Base Republicans today believe at this point, you can't call what Trump is running a campaign. As friend of the show David Korn points out in Mother Jones, what Trump and J.D. Vance and House and Senate Republicans are running is a massive disinformation campaign aimed at warping Americans' reality. And they're doing it with violent, terrifying, and sometimes bizarre conspiracy theories that set the table for maybe armed resistance to a Kamala Harris win or mass acceptance of American fascism. Trump and Republicans, backed by far right-wing billionaires like Elon Musk and right-wing media and anti-woman manosphere podcasts, are creating social media or gaming social media apps like X Twitter in Trump's favor and pumping disinformation into the brains of Trump supporters. Not quite foreign interference, but not exactly different from what Vladimir Putin would do. And in many ways, the disinformation campaign is working. Base Republicans today believe everything from Democrats secretly manipulating the weather from a secret base in Alaska to Trump being incapable of losing this election. He's winning in a landslide. And some Democrats are starting to believe the disinformation too. Have you noticed how sharply the polls have shifted in Trump's favor over the last couple weeks? With these claims that Trump is surging with Black and Latino voters and leading in every single swing state, according to secret internal polls, despite all the Hitler talk. Yes, this race will be far too close. Because unfortunately, we do have a fascist groundswell in parts of this country, mainly among white men, let's be clear, but in small pockets among black.
You know, I am going to say it, and I My mother raised me never to call a woman the B word or the C word, and it's reserved for the utmost. I feel sad for her. I'm one of those people she's talking about. And I promise you this, and I can look you square in the eye, and I can say it with no equivocation, that vehemently I disagree with everything she's saying, and I swear I know for a fact that I have given more to African Americans, Latinos, and Asian Americans and the LGBT community than this cunt ever could. I'm sorry. It just seemed like the right word for the time. I'm not a fascist. I'm a patriot. I'm an American. I transcend politics. I don't identify with leaders. I lead. Those elected representatives are there to follow what I tell them to do, what you tell them to do. They're not our leaders. Donald Trump is not my leader. Joe Biden is not my leader. I served and I swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States, not a president, not a senator, to the people, to the American people. How dare you call me a fascist, you fat fucking cow? Women like you have been doing this shit since the 70s. And I understand the first and second wave of feminism, and I agree with you. You should be able to burn your bra, you should be able to vote, you should have equal pay, and you shouldn't have your hoochie grabbed. But the third and fourth wave means that you're coming after me. And you're labeling me as something I'm not. I'm not a sexist. I'm not a fascist. I'm not anti-American. I purposely and joined the military to fight fascism, to fight communism. I've seen Chinese takeover of Hong Kong. I was there running security. We were there in South America. We were in Vladivostok and Petropavlovsk and Severomorsk. We saw Russia under the rule and the fall of communism. We saw democracy try to be installed and utterly fail as the pimps and the prostitutes came. Why? Because the actual state did not believe in the Constitution, and they still gave power to the oligarchs and the mafia and the crime syndicate of Russia. What the fuck do you know? You're a multi-millionaire fat-ass cow who sits up on that stage and is divisive and hates white people. Well, you know what? I don't hate black people. I hate people like you. Because I don't care about your skin. I don't care if you pee sitting down. You're either an asshole, a bitch, or you're a good American, and you are certainly not the latter. You are a tick on society. And just like people who are white who did this shit for years and castigated aspersions against African Americans, you are none the better. You are just as racist, just as hateful as someone in a fucking hood. And someday I really fucking hope that karma finds you. Can't stand these fucking people. Just a hateful piece of trash.
And brown men, too. This happens to be a global phenomenon as women become more economically independent and seek positions of power. But friend of the show, Simon Rosenberg, points out that just like in 2020
a Jew's a friend of the show on CNN, MSNBC? Wow, that's rare.
2022, dozens of right-wing polls have been dumped into the marketplace in the last few weeks, 12 in Pennsylvania alone. Those polls then swing the polling averages to the right, making Trump look strong and Kamala Harris look stalled. Now, there are lots of explanations for why you'd want to game the polls. Entrepreneurial Republican pollsters can certainly gain favor with Trump, who's apparently fuming about Vice President Harris's billion-dollar fundraising and positive press. And then there's the more sinister explanation that if Trump, Republican pollsters, and even jittery Democrats convince enough people that his victory is inevitable, how much easier would it be to claim that the election was stolen if he loses? And how much easier would it be to get his base to rise up?
Here it is, black people, women, men, Latinos, women, men, Jews, unions, fire departments, police officers, military. It's not that you're sick and tired of liberal policies and people like this absolute trash up on the national stage telling you that the reason why you need to vote for Democrats is because you're black. And if you're not voting for Democrats, you're just not black. It couldn't be the failed policies. It couldn't be the unbelievable, just complete cluster that the economy is, that our border is, that world security is. It couldn't be the assassination attempts on Donald Trump. It couldn't be possibly that the last 7 major mass shooters in the United States have all been transgender. It couldn't be the rainbow flags replacing the American flag in classrooms. It can't be sexual mutilation of children by chemical castration or physical castration, not telling parents about their kids when they come out of the closet or want to change their name to the opposite sex or believe that they're a woman when they're a man and they're not even a man or a woman, they're just a child. That teachers can come up and talk about their sexuality, but people like that 15 years ago would be removed from the teaching unions, would be removed from the school districts and arrested. Nobody gets to talk about my child about sex. Nobody. Nobody gets to sit there and ask my kid what they identify with sexually or what they're attracted to or who they're attracted to. That's none of your fucking business. Maybe, just maybe, black people are sick of losing the brightest and the youngest of their future with black people being murdered in these inner cities and nobody doing a fucking thing about it. 9% of homicides in Chicago are actually solved. 9! 9 out of 10 murders are unsolved in Chicago for the first time ever. Whose fault is that? That has been under Democrat control for 90 fucking years. 90 years. There's been not even a reprieve. There hasn't even been a 2-year reprieve for that. And you're going to sit here and blame Republicans. Maybe it has nothing to do with Russia. Maybe it has nothing to do with fascism. Maybe it has nothing to do with the polls that are all being counted because there are just more polls than ever before because it's a moneymaker. And there are just as many Democrat polls that are completely full of shit as Republican polls. Give me a break. You guys run the media. You're just pissed off because there's other platforms getting more accurate polling. And to say that more polling doesn't help is a ridiculous notion. More data is always good because it also does not give you the center. It also identifies the outliers. So you have a more accurate center. You want polls that are completely inaccurate so you can establish the outliers on the left and to the right of center. So her entire thought process is antithetical. That's like saying, well, too many people are being returned on their polls. It's only supposed to be 1,000, but 10,000 people are replying. That's a bad thing. What? More data is a bad thing? I thought you were the party of education. Maybe it's not Russia. Maybe it's not that Trump's a Nazi. Maybe it's not that all white people are racist and black people and white people should hate each other. Maybe it's that your policies fucking suck. And African Americans, minorities, women, military, Greeks, Orthodox, Jews, Gentiles are just sick and tired of liberals just going so far to the nutso loony farm that they're not going to do it anymore, that they're not going to give you the power because what you're doing in it is ridiculous. Abortion up to 9 months, 9 babies in Walls Estates that were put to death after birth. And I understand some of them may have life-threatening conditions. But there is a processes in place. We need to expose these type of things. We need to have a national conversation about this. We don't deny that it's happening. You talk about it because we got videos of Northam talking about it. He's our governor, and that's the reason why we kicked him the fuck out and Terry McAuliffe, because we knew exactly what they were going to do. They were going to do the exact same thing that they did in Minnesota and Michigan to our Virginia, and we said no when we put Glenn Youngkin in place. We need a conversation about this stuff, not it swept under the rug. Thank you, Frank, for the donation. About $27 away. Folks, you're just going to get the truth here. And that's all it is. Maybe, just maybe, there isn't a grand conspiracy. Maybe, just maybe, Democrat policies have gone way too far of left. And America is saying, you need a lesson in humility. We're not all about this vitriol, this division, this separation. We don't believe that our white neighbors are Nazis. We don't appreciate you saying these things. We listened to your lies in 2020 with Trump, and what did we get? We have a broken country, a broken world. We have an energy crisis. We have our borders that are absolutely porous. We have a drug epidemic in this country. We have babies being aborted, and you're trying to abort more. You're killing the fabric of our society, and our population is decreasing. We are now averaging 0.92 kids per household. For the first time ever in U.S. history, we have a decline in the amount of children being born. In fact, there were more illegal immigrants that crossed the U.S. border last year than new kids were born. And you want more access to abortion? Why? What happened to the party of education? What happened to the party of contraception? What happened to the pill? What happened to the condoms? What happened to having some form of birth control? We're all with it now. We're here. And instead of doing that, we resisted for years. Christians said no. Catholics said no. We're saying yes. We said yes to abortion in limited situations. And what did you do? You took it past the first trimester, second, third, all the way up until birth. And now you don't even care about contraception anymore. The solution to contraception, and now that you've gotten us to bend on that, is full-fettered abortion. We don't need to worry about contraception anymore. Let's just have unprotected sex, and we'll just go ahead and murder the baby. Not even addressing sexual transmitted diseases, HPV, AIDS, herpes, the transmission of hepatitis. Are we not worried about that? I don't hear anything from Democrats when it comes to contraception. All I hear is that Republicans want to cancel Planned Parenthood and defund Planned Parenthood. No, we want to make sure that American taxpayer dollars are not going to murdering children. That's what we care about. And until you can tell us that, you can't with a straight face, because you may not be doing stem cell research. You may not funding abortions, but you're using that money to fund other things so you can fund abortion. So you can fund stem cell research. Give me a break.
And maybe even get violent the way they did when he lost the last time. How much easier would it be to get the Republican House Speaker or John Roberts and the right-wing Supreme Court conservatives to throw the election to Trump?
Oh, my God.
These are the things we need to consider. Donald Trump is not running a normal election. He's talking America into damn near a civil war.
Oh, my God.
To terrify voters into supporting him. And if that doesn't work, he's laying the groundwork for insurrection 2.0.
I can't fucking wait until they cry. The happiest day of my life was in 2016, not because I thought Donald Trump was going to be the great white hope, but because liberals needed a wake-up call. They needed a complete boot up their ass. They need it again. I will sit up till 6 a.m. and sip on a whiskey and smoke a cigar and just sit on my patio and burn my phone battery to 0 and plug it back in. And I just want to see the liberal tears. I want to wash in them and bathe in them like the rivers and the Lake Minnetonka. I want to have the days of the Ivory Coast rinse my soul clean of liberal bullshit and watch every single one of them cry. I want to taste Cenk Uyghur's tears. I want to see Joy Reid just blubbering. I want to see Rachel Maddow throw herself on the sword. I can't wait. It is like I'm looking forward to like a few things. My first grandchild, well, not in this order. My daughter and son married. My first grandchild, selling this house and buying a travel huge, beautiful bus that my wife and I are going to drive all over the country, and we're going to do the show remote every single night via our satellite. And the fourth thing I want is I want to see liberals cry. Because just as much as we needed it, the GOP needed it in 2008 to 2014, they needed it. They needed a complete rebuild and to castigate the Tea Party, the Koch brothers Tea Party, out of us. We needed the Michelle Bachmans, the Paul Ryans, the Trey Gowdies, and some of them still remain. We needed them out of our party. The Democrats need an absolute ass kicking. They need a shellacking of epic proportions, and I want the tears. I demand the tears because nobody wants civil war. Nobody wants that shit. We're not even talking about that stuff. What the hell are you talking about? We're not the ones that burned down cities. We're not the one that caused $2.2 billion in damage. We're not the one out of 490 some odd protests, 212, whatever, 16 of them were turned violent. We're not the one that tries to kill our president. Give me a break. I want the tears. In fact, Tears 2024. Tears and Snot Bubbles 2024. That's who I'm voting for. I don't give a shit about. I don't care about Trump. I don't care about the GOP. Tears and Snot Bubbles 2024. That's what I want. I'm making the shirt. That's what I want. And whoever gets us there, I'm fine with. Folks, $183.89. We have hit our goal. This will be the 12th night in a row. We have moved to a nightly donation, and you guys have been absolutely awesome. If you have an opportunity and you can help us out, please do me a favor. Please donate to The Dumb Show at thedumbshow.com/donate, PayPal, Venmo, and you can also send something in by P.O. Box if you want to. We rely on you. You fund this show through your shirt purchases and also your donations. If you could help us, and remember, you're in a situation where you can afford that. I don't want anyone stretching. I don't want anyone pushing. If you have the ability, help us out. And also, if you can't, if that's something you can't do, likes. We've got 250 people watching. I've got 109 likes. Now, I've got thousands of comments. So if you can leave a comment, you can hit a like. All right? Do me a favor. Hit that heart. Hit that follow, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button, whatever platform you're on, help us out. That gets the word out. Tears and Snot Bubbles 2024. I think I'm going to make the shirt. We got more to cover. That is just the first half of the show. Well, not quite. Is it 8:30? It is. We got a half hour. It's all right. We're going to start moving here. Thanks for all the likes. I see them coming in.
With the misinformation and the lies.
This is desperation. This is Joy Reid 2.0. These are the new Democratic talking points. Joy and CNN and MSNBC, ABC, CBS, they all got their talking points by email that said, put Black Americans, that they're being brainwashed by Russia. This is what they're saying. And if you don't believe me, listen to Kamala Harris.
They've already started with the misinformation and the lies. We know that there is foreign interference, and I have to say to everybody listening to this, don't let them take your voice. Because I was part of the Senate Intelligence Committee when we investigated Russia's interference in the 2016 election. Black folks were targeted with misinformation. They've already started with the misinformation and the lies.
Here you go.
We
Russia,
know that
Russia. There's no reason that the Democrats will lose. There's no way that Donald Trump could just be the preferred candidate because she is so terrible. No way. Nope. It's not possible. It has to be Russia. It has to be that Hillary Clinton lost because of sexist men. Has to be. It's nothing else it could be. And then you got this doofus. I'm serious, dude. Enough of the flannel shirts and the Magoo fucking hats from the gas station. Dude, you need to stop. Okay? You are not Farmer Ted. This is ridiculous. Give me a break. You're running for vice president of the United States. What in the hell are you wearing? You look like the brawny man from Brawny Towels, who now is a geriatric. Thank you, Frank. Dude, we hit it. I appreciate you guys. You guys got to give someone else a chance to donate too. It's not, we appreciate, but folks, we got a lot of people watching, and Frank has done amazing things. Bobby has done amazing things. Kevin, everyone helps out. In fact, we're going to go ahead and scroll the ticker because so many people are helping, and we just can't thank you enough. But man, it's hard for me to not feel a little bad because there's people who just give so much on this show. We really appreciate you. But Frank is coming through tonight. Bobby's coming through tonight. Kevin coming through tonight. We appreciate you guys. Remember, we don't want anyone to give what they can't. But Frank, my Lord, Matt kicking in. Bobby kicking in. Ashley Gleason kicking in. Everyone doing so much. John Stillwell, appreciate you. Maria, thank you so much. Maddie Howenitz is jumping in there, $10.83. Those are the last 10 people to donate. We appreciate you as always, and thank you so much. It comes in waves, folks, and we can't thank you enough. Here we go. Walls in his brawny outfit. Oh, my God. If he could grow a beard, he'd be scary.
We'll see this. This idea about background checks. Vice President, I can pass them. On the other side of the ticket, you know the 34 felonies? You can't pass a background check. So look, don't let your neighbors, and let's not allow this to happen to divide us. This is not the issues they want it to be. We will protect. Nobody's coming for your guns.
Bullshit.
We'll see this. This idea about
Brawny man. Brawny man. Yeah. Folks, I hate to say it, but even Brawny has gone woke. Brawny woman. Give me a fucking break. If a woman is brawny, I'm sorry. No, I'm good. I pass. Pasadena. Donate crypto? No. I've done PayPal. I've done Venmo. I'm not doing crypto. No, it's too much, guys. Do you know how much? Every time we open up a new one of those, the taxes are ridiculous because it's a lot. Thank you so much, Paul. We appreciate you so much, Paul. I missed the last one. Who was it? Hold on, I'll check. Who was it? Olivia, who was it? Shit, I missed it. Paul, thank you, and I missed the last one. Yeah, I come on. Dude, give me a break. I am so sick of this tool. Give me a break. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
A question. I think I would
Keith,
ask her,
how much was it? How much? $31.44. Keith, thank you so much for donating. We appreciate you as well, too. Thank y'all. This is, okay. I'm going to go into the media a little bit. This stuff is, okay. Oh, Yenny's leaving. Yenny Cam is now done. Okay. I don't judge people based upon their size. You're going to notice over the next month that I am going to slender down because I'm cutting, and I always cut in the winter. I don't know why, but I just took a year off of working out, and you can already see my face is thinning out, and it's, you lose some water weight and you get back into shape. And it's not like I haven't been in shape. I just stopped working out a lot. So put on, 8-9 pounds, and it's all water weight, and it goes into your face. And at my age, you got to be careful. So you're going to notice it's going to slim down. The wrinkles won't be as prominent in the forehead. The cheeks will come in a little bit, all that type of stuff. And it's something that I've done. And I just was looking at myself on camera. I said, okay, it's time to get back working out. And I took a year off, and now I'm here. I know what it's like to be fat. I grew up that way. And I joined the military, and I got myself in shape, and I never looked back. And then when I broke my back, my body just went to shit. I don't make fun of people who are gay and lesbian because one day I may have a child who is. I've got a lot of friends who are gay and lesbian. A ton. And when I say a ton, I'm talking thousands. I know thousands of people working at Apple. I have hired thousands of gay and lesbian people, and I have a shit ton of people who I still stay in touch with. And two of my dear, dear friends, Esmeralda and Serena, are my just like daughters that I never had at their age. Whatever. I care about people. And I don't care if you have a mohawk. I don't care if you have pink hair. I don't care if you pee sitting down or standing up. I don't care. But I do care if it's going to affect your life. And this person doesn't need to be told that they're a man when they're a woman, or they're a woman when they're a man, that they're unique as a snowflake. They need to be told that they are borderline diabetic and their entire life is changing because they are in the most pivotal times of their lives where if they do not eat correctly and exercise, that they are changing their makeup forever. Their body will alter itself, and genetically they will be in a predisposition to be this way the rest of their life. And that fight will be impossibly hard for them to get through. That is the kindness that you need to show, not tell somebody that they're transgender. This video is the media doing what they're always doing. It's canned, it's set up, and it's complete bullshit.
If I were to ask Vice President Harris a question, I think I would ask her, how soon do you think we can get the Equality Act passed?
How about Donald Trump?
I would ask him.
It's too quick. It's too quick. It's canned. She went to the memory portion of her brain. He, it, whatever. So body language is something I'm very good at. This is bullshit. The reporter asked it too quickly, and they responded way too quickly. This is a canned, totally set up, 100% bullshit, because this person is even trying to demonstrate faux contemplation or faux discovery. Look at their face. Watch it again. Tell me, does this look genuine to you?
Her, Vice President Harris, a question. I think I would ask her.
Amy, can you send that to Olivia, the Rumble chat donation? Because I don't see those. Thank you.
How soon do you think we can get the Equality Act passed?
How about Donald Trump?
I would ask him, do you see me as a human?
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Oh. Oh, come on. Give me a break. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, why? Oh, why? Oh, I'm so sorry. For absolutely nothing. For nothing. Nothing. Please tell me what rights were taken away. And why do you need an Equality Act? Transgenders are already protected from hate crimes, discrimination in the workplace. What do you need? What else do you want? What other rights do you need? Are you oppressed like black people? Do you need gay and lesbian protection from hate crime? You already have it. What do you want? You're a confused human being. We have help for you. You don't need a law. It's not going to fix you. You don't need to cut off your parts. It's not going to fix you. 71% of transgender people who mutilate their bodies and transition to another sex, which they aren't, but have different genitalia, wind up regretting that decision and have the highest suicide rate out of any demographic, out of anyone that's tracked. It doesn't solve the problem. It never does. This is complete bullshit. Donald, do you see me as human? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I hope. What you really want is to have a law passed so you force people to see something that you're not. That's what you want. So instead of asking Kamala Harris, hey, are you willing to pass a law so people are forced to see me as I'm not? Versus, I know Donald Trump won't pass this law, so I'm going to have to come to grips that I'm not this person. I really want to be, but no matter how much I wish or shit in the hand, I can see which one fills up first, but it's not going to make a big difference. So I'm going to have to learn to celebrate my uniqueness by myself because nobody else fucking cares. Okay? Nobody cares. So, do I see you as human? Yes. Do I see you as you have a serious form of psychosis? Yes. Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What a bullshit response. You know what you need to tell that person? Exercise, diet, because a fit body equals a fit mind. And whatever's troubling you might be fixed when you get out of this state of self-pity and self-loathing. Because if you don't care about yourself, how do you expect us to? If you don't take yourself seriously, how do you expect us to take you seriously? If you want us to recognize who you want to be, then you should be the best version of yourself. I'm happy this way. Oh, obviously not. You want a special law to pretend that that's going to make you happy. But after 2 weeks and $4.25, the only thing you're going to be able to do is buy yourself one hell of a cup of coffee. Okay? It's not going to fix your shit. The only thing that's going to fix your shit is to stop seeking attention from others. Be who you want to be, focus who you want to be, and go make that happen and live a healthy lifestyle and a productive lifestyle and stop putting yourself in front of others. And I promise you, you will find fulfillment. And also put down the fucking Twinkies. Seriously, give me a break. God. So tired of this. So tired of this. Here's another example of the media. I've shown you some things.
You say.
Shown you some things in regard to the media cutting and splicing. They did it with the 60-minute interviews. They do it all the time, but here's another example. Watch this. 2 different clips.
So that's a different accounting than this 2% you say was distributed.
Yeah, so they've obligated some funds, but they've only distributed 2%. The rescue and recovery effort's still going on, and then we address the rest of it.
So that's a different accounting than this 2% you say was distributed.
Yeah, so they've obligated some funds, but they've only distributed 2%. And when I was there on the ground, and you should go, I mean, bring the cameras and talk to the people there. They'll tell you, don't take politicians' words for this or the administration's word. Talk to the people there on the ground. They had not been provided the resources almost 2 weeks out from the storm that they desperately needed. And when I was there, 13 days post the storm hitting that state, people are still being rescued. They're stuck in the higher elevations in the mountains because the roads are down and all the rest. So they need every available resource and all hands on deck. The rescue and recovery effort's still going on, and then we address the rest of it.
So that
there is a reason why I record every single show, and I have every single show recorded in its entirety. There's a reason. And trust me, I pay out the ass for the server that stores all that information. I have my own server. Yenny Cam is down, folks. She's off for the night. We'll see if she'll come back. Mom came home, so she's done with me. I record everything. And if I were to go on Fox News, which they'll never have me because I cuss. I'm angry. I'm an angry white male. You know what? I don't care. We have the Christians. We have the good country boys. We got the military people. We've got the educated people. You know what? We need a good Republican who cusses once in a while and can be a human being. Okay? We need your dad. I'm going to be dad because this is what I grew up with. And although a Christian, my dad believes that mother was half of a word. I do too. I'm just going to be me. And the funny thing is that, you know what? Keep up with my vocabulary. Keep up with Damani Felder's vocabulary. You don't get to call us uneducated because we cuss. Because I promise you, half the shit that we say in our videos, you have to look up with a thesaurus or a dictionary, okay? So give me a break. I choose to articulate myself in several mediums, and cursing is one of them. So Fox News, get over yourself, because you don't mind taking a lot of my ideas from the show. When I cover things, Jesse Waters and Judge see several larger shows take concepts word for word. Sean Hannity, we heard the radio show. My neighbor showed me that radio show. And almost for 30 minutes, verbatim what I said, Sean Hannity said. So I know. I get it. Okay? But I would love to go on Fox News. But if I did, I would record every minute of it. And I would do exactly what Mike Johnson did. This is what they do. This is what they do. Yanny Cam is down. I want to thank everyone. $298.72 raised tonight for the Donut and Friendly show. That's going to give us a little extra coverage. Hopefully we get a couple dollars more so we can get ourselves over that $300 mark. But you know what? We're not going to go ahead. Jesus donated $5 through Rumble chat. Jesus, thank you so much. I've got to figure out why I'm not getting notifications from Rumble, but thank you for donating, brother. Benny Johnson. Did he make this video? No. Yes.
Government should not be telling her what to do.
So I got to give credit. I think Benny did this. I don't know. Benny is notorious for taking off watermarks, but I'm going to give him credit because that's what we do. Benny Johnson created this video. Listen to this.
Does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government shouldn't be telling her what to do.
Unburdened by what has
One
been.
does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do. But I call an opportunity economy so that every American has an opportunity to own a home, to build wealth, and to start a business. So every American has the opportunity to own a home, to build wealth, to start a small business. And when we fight...
It's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying. I'm just letting you know. Last thing. All right, I got to refresh. Hold on. Last thing I'm going to show you. Thank you. Just one. Just one. I don't want that. I want a Tom's piece. Thank you. Sorry, heartburn. I've been dying for 20 minutes. I've been calling you. I need water. Sorry. Okay. Mm-hmm. Love you, babe. I can't take that without it. Thanks, honey. I hate getting old. Heartburn is the worst. All right. Show this video. Sorry, everybody had to hear that. But if I didn't get that Tums, I was going to die. Okay. I don't have audio. Ugh. Thanks, son.
Jesus donated $5 for Rumble chat.
I heard that. I already told him. Thank you. Okay. Let's go ahead and watch this. Where is the audio? Why is this not working? All right, we're going to close it out and just redo it. Bastards. Safari. If Steve Jobs was still alive, Steve Jobs, this would not happen. No, I'm not going to die. Just I work out, I do my shake, and I have to take Tagamet because I get heartburn, horrible heartburn, acid reflux. My dad had it. It runs in the family. And I didn't get my medicine tonight because Olivia wasn't here, and she always, is a doll and does it for me. So I just got some heartburn. So, and it hurts. It sucks. It's not fun. It's not like a heartburn where you're like, oh, it's a minor inconvenience. It burns. That shit sucks. It only happens when I eat spicy food. So I had too spicy food. Okay, you don't really need to hear any of this shit. All right, here we go. Why am I not getting any sound? Sorry, folks. I don't know what's going on. I thought I unmuted this. All right, let me try one more thing. And if this doesn't work, we're just going to have to do without the sound. Mac is the greatest computer in the world. Safari, not so much. And I don't like Chrome. I just don't. I think Chrome is just weird. I don't know. Not a big fan. Oh, come on. Don't make me sign in. Oh, Christ. All right. We are just going to listen to it without sound because I don't care. We're at the end of the show, and we're going to make this happen. So here's a video of instant karma. And I want to talk about this because I just had to put a video camera. Well, let's do this first, and then we'll do this. Now it works. So this lady is triggered as shit. This is Karen. This is pretty much everybody I deal with on Facebook who's a liberal. She is completely melting down and decides to go ahead and flip off some Trump supporters. Karma. It's fantastic. If you're one of these people, what are you going to do when you catch them? You know what I mean? What are you going to do? What do you think is going to happen when you catch a man in a car? You going to fight him? You going to kick his ass? Give me a break. If you think that you're changing minds by flipping people off and chasing them down and rear-ending somebody, the only thing you're doing is going to put yourself in jail, or you're going to pick on the wrong person one day, and that person's going to snap, and they are going to end your existence. Now, my wife will tell you there was times where I ran out of a car and chased a car that called my wife the C word. And as I was running down all 6'4", 225 some odd pounds in the street chasing this car, they decided to brake, and 4 of them got out, and then they saw me and got back in. Because I'm a big dude, and only a crazy guy chasing a car, you don't want to fuck with that guy. And it doesn't mean I'm the toughest or I'm a badass. It just means that when during my youth, I didn't care. And then I learned that my family's too important. And I grew up and I realized that I don't have anything to prove to anybody, and you're not worth it. If you're too dumb and you're too much of an idiot not to vote for Kamala Harris, then I can't help you. Me chasing you down and flipping you off isn't going to fix the problem. And either is doing this to a good friend of mine. Now, I just put up a trail cam with FLIR and sound and 48 megapixel and motion tracking and all this other stuff because somebody went to this man who is a Special Forces Green Beret who worked as a private bodyguard, a sheriff, a badass, and my friend. And when I say a friend, he's more like a dad. And we call him Grandpa Mike. And he's an older gentleman. And I would say that he is probably one of the best friends I've ever had in my life because he doesn't judge me. I love him dearly. And every day that I wake up, I think that he's brought me a little closer to God because I always say to protect him and to keep him around. Because after I lost my uncle, I never thought I'd have a male figure in my life who I cared so much about. But this man, I love. I'm trying to get him on the show for years. And I know if he was, it would be an amazing show because he's so funny. He's so quick and he laughs and he's got that Ed McMahon laugh, you know, that is just great. And you truly can feel that he cares about you. And then I get this text 2 days ago. And it's a part of a Trump sign cut. And of course, the analytical side starts kicking in, and I look that it's an aggressive cut because it goes down the line of the rivet. It's one of those plastic ones with a little straw holes all the way through. But then it goes horizontal to those, and it's an aggressive cut. And he's like, well, looks like someone just, threw some trash, and I got a piece of Trump sign in my driveway, and his driveway is real long. And of course, I was like, I don't know. Someone had put in front of my Trump sign on my property, our neighborhood's, our entire cul-de-sac is Trump. And they put a white sign in front of it with an arrow that said farm sale down our cul-de-sac. And of course, I threw it away. Nobody's dumb enough to fuck with my stuff. They know better. This town knows. That's not going to be good for you. If you screw with my flagpole, you're going to be in a world of hurt. But Mike he's special forces. This guy's a badass. This guy was special forces in Vietnam. He is no joke. And he's older. And he's not as fast as he used to be, but I would still put him in a gunfight with just about anybody, and I'd put my money on him. But I'll tell you what, whatever he's lacking, I will fulfill and help. And I love this man. So when I saw it the first time, I was hoping I wouldn't see it again. Because the first time is kind of a joke, and a second time is a warning. And then the next day, the other half of the sign. Same spot on his driveway, right at the end, a very clear message. It's not okay. At the very worst, this is election intimidation. It's illegal. You can't do this. You're sending a message, and by cutting and defacing the political campaign sign, you're saying that you're kind of marked. This would just be bad as putting a swastika on somebody's wall or, burning a cross. You're cutting up a political sign and putting it at the end of the driveway saying that if you do this, this is your fate. I've already put up all the necessary things to surveil the area. I've already got it under control. I'm already randomly picking times in the night to go there and dress in some very darkly clad clothing and armed just because. Because this is where I go to work. I'm not the neighbor you borrow an egg from because I'm just going to give you the egg and close the door. I'm not the guy you invite to the barbecue. But if shit goes down, I'm the guy you knock on my door. I'm just covering my bases. If this is a viewer, and many of you know where I live, and that's fine, and I'm not worried. Your fight is with me. And I promise you, and I will say this in no uncertain terms, if you bring this fight to somebody who I love and care about's door, this is a fight you will not want. And this is a fight you will not win. Don't fuck with the people I love. But I have a sneaking suspicion that this is somebody who knows how much this guy means to me. I just got a feeling because he doesn't start shit with anybody. He's quiet, he's reserved, and he keeps to himself. The worst mistake someone could make is screwing with somebody I love. And I'm warning you. I'll find out. I've got my ways. I'm good at what I do. Don't make this a personal mission for me. Let this be the last one. Funny, haha. Good joke. Got your joke the first time. Didn't like it much the second time. And warning, there better not be a third. But I got a feeling it's somebody who watches my show. A lot of people watch my show. A lot of people know how much I care about this guy. So you might want to be careful. And if it's somebody else, you're going to get caught too. Because you're screwing with two old people who don't give a shit. It's probably not a good idea. So there's my speech. This stuff has to stop. I've never had a Republican cut up a Kamala sign. I've never even heard of somebody cutting up a Biden sign. We don't believe that. You have a right to vote for whoever you want. And even though you might be a complete horse's ass, you have every right to vote. And it's your God-given and natural right to vote. You have every right, and I will protect that. I will protect that. but I also will fervently protect my neighbors and my friends for their right. And he is an old man, and he hates when I say that, but he's Jeff Bridges' old man. And if you have not seen Old Man with Jeff Bridges in it, go watch it, because that's Mike. He can take care of himself. Point is, I hope people knock it off and grab a little bit of decency again. That would be a good thing. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something tonight. I hope you got something out of it. I wanted to show you guys one thing. We are 298.72. We're going to call it good enough. Call that good. Wanted to show you something we just got. Now, I want to just mention this because we get asked a lot about our hoodies, and I'm wearing one right now, and they are the shit. Everyone who has a hoodie knows that they're the best hoodies on the internet. They hug you in all the right places. They are awesome. They are comfy, and they are just killer. But this Columbia jacket, I have owned one, I think for 7 years. I got mine at SeaWorld. I love it. It's fantastic. And so when I saw that I got a vendor that will actually give them to us, I was so stoked because I've been looking for a good jacket. Now, a Columbia jacket, it's going to be $90. This is a nice one. And if you can see, it's got an inline zipper for your phone. It's got 2 zip pockets. It's got Velcroed sleeves so you can close the sleeves. It is super rain repellent. It is it's almost like a neoprene, but it's got a canvas feel to it, but it doesn't absorb water. It is a super windbreaker because it is insulated on the inside, and it is super comfortable. And during those times that you want to protect your ears or your face, you zip up and it will go around and it'll almost make like a baklava around your face. They are fantastic. They're good in the spring. They are great in the winter. I wore this all winter long, and it gets to 22, 23 degrees without a problem. The price point, like I said, these things are usually $90. You can't find it. So our starting price is cat's back. Our starting price on this thing is actually $115. It goes up with extra large, XXL, double XL, triple XL, because we have to, unfortunately. Let me try to get out of this. There we go. Everything is fully embroidered. And I'm going to have to restart this. There we go. Folks, I'm not trying to do a sales pitch. I'm trying to show you that this damn jacket is cool, and I'm really proud of it. But Safari's being an asshole. All right. There we go. All right. So everything's stitched. Left lapel is all embroidered, the DUM Nation logo. It's got Columbia on the right sleeve. A little bit of a close-up here. And you can see that the back fully embroidered with the Don't Unfriend Me logo. And then the lower sleeve, right sleeve, like all of our gear, has the American flag and the Don't Unfriend Me show brand logo. So the DUM Nation jacket, folks, you can wear it with pride. I do honor all of our discount codes. So if you are a member of the DUM Club, if you're a member of the DUM Nation group on Facebook, your discount does apply to that. And I just figured I'd show it to you. It is one hell of a cool jacket. They will be limited supply, so give yourself a chance to do that. Remember, Christmas is coming. We have a shite ton of stuff over on the site at thedumshow.com. Please do me a favor and like, share, and subscribe. That would mean a world to us. Tomorrow night, we will have Kamala Harris's interview. We'll be coming on early at 6 o'clock, and we'll be showing that. And then we'll be having, it's Gore-Tex. It's pretty, I believe it is the Gore-Tex jacket. In fact, I'm almost 100% sure. You can read about it. I put all the information. I'm looking. Let me see. Yeah, it's not as, it doesn't have the parka back hood, but it's got that same feel. It's like, it's hard to explain. I've got all the details on it on the site. Let me go over there and show you. But you know my stuff. My Under Armour stuff, everything is top of the line. Polyester, Nexigen contour, bonded soft shell. 100% polyester whatever. Touch tri-coat linen, abrasion-resistant chin guard, zipper head, hand and chest pockets, adjustable cuff tabs, adjustable draw cord hem. Oh, so it does the waist too. That's huge. Wind and water resistant, embroidered Columbia logo. So that's what it is. It's good. So on the inner lining, it is waterproof. Yeah, it's you guys, it's top of the line. Go read about it online. It's over here. Here's the link. Go read about it online. And I want to be transparent. We're making like $20 a jacket. With a discount, we're making nothing. If people put in the 20% off, it's break even. And that's okay because the people who have the 20% off pay with the DUM Club, so I don't care. But we tried to keep it as low as possible because we just know it's a really cool jacket. Mine's on the way. I was really excited. So if you haven't had a chance, go take a look. Angel, I'm sorry you're in the ER. Let us know how we can help. Appreciate everybody. Thanks for watching the Donut and Friendly Show. We'll see you all tomorrow. Wednesday night, we're going to have the Kamala Harris interview on Fox, which is a big thing. So we're going to have that there. We'll have a regular show. So Olivia and I on at 6 o'clock. Amy will be on at 7. We'll probably go to 8. We might even go 9. It'll just depend. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you had a good show tonight. Sorry for the language if I cussed too much, but I was passionate. Yenny is actually on her thing, but she's all the way down in the first level. Thanks for watching this show. Please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe like we asked, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live.
Thanks, Thomas. You too, buddy.
On all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.